Are you excited to re-elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? I know I am. So great to be back here. Okay. Yesterday marked the 51st anniversary of Roe v. Wade. And I remember the exact moment that I found out that Roe got overturned. The Vice President called me from Air Force Two and delivered this distressing and abhorrent news. And just like so many of you, she was outraged. We were both outraged, and we knew we had to turn that anger into action. But we all still feel that rage today. I know I do. And I think about it. I have an 83-year-old mother, and we also have a 24-year-old daughter. So how is it possible that my mother will have enjoyed more rights than our daughter? That is simply unacceptable. Now we all knew, and all of you knew, you've been doing this work for so long, that the reversal of Roe would bring significant harm to many women and families. It's actually worse than we thought, what's actually happened. And we're going to hear some of these tragic, horrible stories tonight. And sadly, so many other women and families whose names and stories we don't know, they're all out there suffering as well, but they're suffering in silence, and that's not right. The Dobbs decision created a healthcare crisis. But it's beyond that. There's other far-reaching impacts, some less obvious than others. For instance, parents of high school kids all across the country have another thing to worry about in the college application process. Can I send my son or daughter to a school that's in a state like Texas or Florida, where there are outright abortion bans? What if something happens? Doctors are looking over their shoulders while they're trying to practice medicine, and in some cases leaving the states in which they originally wanted to practice and where their care is desperately needed. Reproductive freedom is not a woman's issue. It's an everyone's issue. The aftermath of the Dobbs decision reminded us that this attack on our freedoms goes beyond abortion. It called into question other rights that we hold dear. And they're not going to stop. What they're doing is immoral. What they're doing is wrong. We all need to stand up for the dignity and freedom of all Americans. Donald Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans have created this new reality where families are living in fear and doctors are worried about helping patients. This moment requires all of us, everyone, each and every one of us, to speak out in defense of reproductive freedom. And this moment also demands leaders who will fight to protect and reinstate a woman's right to choose. And luckily, we have those leaders. We have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They understand and care about the senseless pain that women in this country are suffering through. They understand the pain that our families across the country are going through because of this Dobbs decision and the horrible aftermath. and with so much on the line, our Vice President, my wife, she's traveling the country right now on her Fight for Reproductive Freedoms tour, and wasn't she awesome in Wisconsin yesterday? The American people are energized and ready to join her and President Biden on this epic fight of our lifetimes. As a father, as a husband, as a son, but also as a longtime lawyer who really cares about the rule of law, I know that everything's on the line. Our rights are on the line. Our futures are on the line. Our health and safety of our families are on the line. And that's why I'm going to be spending every day between now and November 5th doing everything that I can to re-elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And I know you will too. 4 more years. 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 I agree. We all got to do this together because we cannot stop. We cannot stop fighting until we restore Roe as the law of the land. And now it is my pleasure to introduce a fierce advocate for families and a true partner in this fight for our freedoms and our fight to restore Roe.